Hi, and welcome to In Brandon. With me today is Peter Lutkeman. He's the chairman of the MCC Relief Sale Committee, and Henry Bueller, who is the vice chair. So we're going to be talking today all about the MCC Relief Sale and the MCC. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Glad to be here.
So let us know what the MCC is.
Well, MCC stands for Mennonite Central Committee, and the Mennonite Central Committee was originated in 1920 when Mennonites in North America became aware of the famine in the Ukraine. And a lot of people were dying because of the famine there. And so churches in North America organized to provide relief. And because there was a lot of different churches involved, they formed a central committee to organize this relief to the Ukraine. And hence we've been the Mennonite Central Committee ever since, providing relief first to the Ukraine, and then after that realized that there were people hurting other places. So eventually, after the war in the 40s, we had work in England and in France, providing help there. Also at that point started to aid in the migration, people that needed to leave their homes, refugees, shall we say. Probably initially our own people were refugees, and helped to resettle them into Paraguay and other parts of the world, places of less conflict. So we've grown from there to realize that we, beyond providing famine relief or disaster relief, shall we say, for hurricanes and floods and earthquakes and so on, that there's more to be done. And we also have development work and peace work and education that all form a part of MCC's work right now.
Right. And you yourself have actually gone away to support some of these causes.
Yes. Mennonite Central Committee, most of our people are actually volunteers. People will volunteer for 1 to 3 year terms working overseas and for virtually nothing. I mean, they get their expenses paid for, basically their housing, but they spend a lot of time there. I didn't do that, but I was privileged a couple of years ago to travel to the Middle East to actually visit projects, the relief and development projects that were being funded by North American Mennonite churches through MCC sales like ours. And things like water project in Iraq, where a desert, drought-stricken area, they were building a little berm that would allow them to catch the rainwater. And on one side I saw simply desert. On the other side there was a little green spot, was a garden, where the water, when it was watered, it produced an awful lot of food. So we were helping them to build a berm to hold the water that they could grow their own food there. And of course we work with refugee camps helping to resettle refugees. So I visited some camps both in Jordan and in Iraq and in Lebanon, and then also saw some amazing educational work going on there as well, where young people, and I have lots and lots of images that I'm happy to share with anybody who will listen of the work that's being done there. For instance, when they pointed out in the Bekaa Valley that the village, the ISIS had come across the hill that I was looking at and attacked a little village that I could see. But ISIS was repelled and sent back. But in that particular case, they said, we've got a lady that has lost her husband in an industrial accident, and she had 5 children. There is no social safety net. So he said, we heard about her, so we went out to find her. She won't have the whatever it takes to come look for help. So we went out to find her. And because we know that her little boy, who's 12 years old now, has every right to be an angry little boy. In 5 years, he'll be an angry big boy. And when ISIS comes over the hill again, and offers him $500 to come fight with them. What's he going to do? So we have to go out there. So we went out there and brought her 2 goats. She is happily farming her 2 goats, supporting her family. That's the kind of thing we do out there.
Right. And we were also talking a little bit earlier, very recent activity and stuff going on. You were talking a little bit about Haiti.
Right. After the earthquake, well, how many years ago was that now? Half a dozen years or so. MCC has had presence in Haiti for a lot of years, but was very, very busy at the time helping to rebuild villages, trying to make them earthquake-proof. And so just this past week, when Irma passed by on the north side of Dominican Republic and Haiti, that we didn't see anything on the news here about the effects on Haiti, because other countries got a direct hit and they got the news coverage. But I was talking to somebody yesterday who said a certain valley in Haiti, where MCC is the only NGO working with the people there, the water was waist deep. So these people are clearly suffering. We're going to be having to do a lot of work there again just because of Irma.
So let's move on to the sale, which is a big part in our local MCC raising funds and stuff. So we've got the sale coming up. How long has the MCC been holding the sale in Brandon?
It'll be our 33rd year this year. We started off, I think, many years ago at River East Curling Club, and then slowly moved over to the Keystone, and now we've been there for over a decade. And so it's the 33rd year, and it's a great event for both the community, the church community, and the Hutterite community. Interesting enough, we get a lot of support from the Hutterite colonies, and so they are, our prime source for getting all the hogs to produce the sausage, which is a big item of sale at the sale that every year we have.
Right.
Vegetables and produce and what have you, but the sausage is the main item.
Right. So when is the sale this year?
Saturday, 23rd of September, and we'll start opening the doors probably around 8:30 for donations, but the sale officially starts at 10. And then probably in the first half hour we'll have some MCC information, maybe a display with Brad Reimer there from Winnipeg. The sort of 11 to 12 is the children's hour, and we have people taking care of the youngsters, and especially we have a group from Oak Lake, Prairie Joe Singers. They do a good job with youngsters, and they will be entertaining them there, and then during the lunch hour they'll entertain the adults while they're having their big lunch. And that's one of the big drawing cards, is the lunch, where we have pierogies and the sausage and special carrot salad, and we have rhubarb sauce and various pies and so on. So that's a big part of our sale, to have 500 or 600 people have dinner there. And then after lunch we have the big sale. First for the children, about maybe 15 or 20 minutes of children items, and then the adult sale, where there's tools and hardware, there could be some furniture, there'll be books, there'll be produce, and all kinds of items. Last year we had a shipment of windows and doors from Winnipeg, from Woodlands in Winnipeg, and it sold very well. And so there's always a surprise there for somebody.
So lots of items and everything. And what time does everything wrap up?
It'll close off officially at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right.
I might clarify on the Peter mentioned the pierogi, and we do share a cultural heritage with our Ukrainian friends, but our foods are slightly different. So when we call them our Mennonite pierogi, we actually call them a varenike, and they're cottage cheese stuffed rather than mashed potatoes and cheddar cheese and those sort of things. So sometimes people have come and been a little disappointed that this is not a pierogi. And I said, well, not really, it's a varenike.
Right. So is there anything else you guys would like to add in?
Well, I'd like to add in the idea that this is a community effort. The Keystone gives us a very good rate to be there, which means that they are supporting the whole scheme as well. Then the community can come and of course buy their sausages and so on and produce, but it's a camaraderie where the community gets together, mingles with the church community, which is not that oftenly done, and so there's a nice cultural mix between the secular and the sacred, with a cause which is, I think, supported by everybody to help the needy, the underprivileged, the person that can't do it themselves. They need help, and so we're all in favor of doing that, but this is a way of combining that effort with everybody.
And the churches, the Mennonite churches that are involved in this come from Portage to Winnipegosis to the American border, Boissevain, Killarney, Mather, Cartwright, Crystal City, the Brandon churches. So we draw our help from all over southwest Manitoba.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for coming in. So hopefully we'll just recap here. It's the MCC Relief Sale, and it's September 23rd. Things kind of get rolling around 10 and end up around 3, and it's at the Keystone Center in the Manitoba room.
And the lunch will be in the UCT room.
And the UTC pavilion. Okay, excellent. Well, thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks for having us.